Nutrition is an important component of an athlete's training program. And good nutrition is not just important during games or events or on training days, but it is important to consider good nutrition every day throughout the whole year of an athlete's life. Some of the benefits we see of good daily nutrition include decreased recovery time for both events, training, as well as injuries. We see increased energy, decreased muscle tissue breakdown in season, increased endurance, stamina, decreased body fat percentage. So, making the body more lean may also help to increase speed and endurance, helping to prevent injuries, and just improving overall health. Also, it's equally important to mention the value of sleep for athletes. During deep sleep is when muscle tissue growth and repair happens. So, we can't look at the whole picture of good overall health for an athlete without also considering the importance of sleep. When developing a meal plan for an athlete, you will want to consider a number of factors that we consider when meal planning for anyone, but also then some specific things that are going to be particular needs for an athlete. First, we'll look at health history, risk for chronic disease conditions, family history of chronic disease, any current disease state that is happening, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune diseases, as some examples. Any acute symptoms that they're experiencing, digestive issues, inflammation, aches and pains, joint pains that from training, from injuries possibly, any blood sugar regulation issues like hyper or hypoglycemia. We want to look at those day-to-day symptoms that people might be experiencing. And then also we think about food concerns, not only tastes and preferences and what people like to eat and what they are eating, but you might also want to consider things like food allergies and food sensitivities. We also want to consider more about their sport, understand what sport they're participating in. Do they require a greater amount of strength, endurance, or both? And then what are the health goals that they have? Chronic or acute disease, again, or symptoms they want to address. Are they trying to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain? And then what is their fitness, whether that's their current level of fitness in addition to their fitness goals. And then some logistics are important to consider for implementation of any eating plan that you're recommending. And that is something that we need to consider with any individual, but certainly with an athlete as they have some specific needs. When are they eating and compared to when they're training, when their events are occurring? For a marathon runner, for example, that might often happen in the morning. So how are they going to time their eating around the need for that nutrition early in the morning? Location of eating, we'll talk about a little bit more, but just understanding where their eating is happening. Then training and competition time. So what is the total time that they are in competition and training during the week? What is the fueling and hydration for the training and competition, whether that's in season, off season? Of course, there's going to be a difference there. Maybe you have a multi-sport athlete, so there's going to be different needs throughout the year depending on their sport that they're participating in at that time. And then lastly, also looking at some living arrangements, their access to food, their travel schedule. If they live alone or with others, that's going to impact meal preparation. Do they live in the dorms and have a meal plan so they maybe don't have as much control or full control over the choices that are available to them? Or do they have access to a kitchen so they can prepare their own food? What sort of availability is there of food, whether that's financial or location? Do they live in a food desert where there's not a lot of access to fresh foods, for example? Also, we have to be prepared with travel. When traveling, of course, we have to account for when that eating is going to happen and what food is going to be available around that travel schedule. So creating the best eating plan for each individual is important, but when we add an athlete into the picture, then we have to consider these additional factors in order to create the best meal plan for that athlete.